Hey, Dr. Blake here. I'm getting some questions recently about gut health. What can I do to kind of optimize my gut microbiome and just support overall gut health? Because everybody's realizing how important the gut is to our immune systems and to our overall wellness. So I thought I'd just give a few examples here. This isn't necessarily in regards to if you've got any particular um, gut illness going on. And at the same time, this is probably going to help. I'm just going to kind of mention a few things that I tell people as a place to primarily bring their focus when they're trying to help build the diversity of their gut microbiome as well as the numbers in their gut microbiome. In terms of conditions that I would expect these sorts of things to potentially help, well, IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, I would think that this could definitely potentially help that. And any kind of other just like functional digestive things like, oh, I have a tendency to be constipated or I have a tendency to have loose stools, those kinds of things I would think would definitely benefit from just a simple approach like this. So I seem to like coming up with things that start with the same letter. So I have my pain video, that's the 5 I's. Well, this is the 3 P's, okay? So the first one is prebiotics. Most of us have heard of these. Prebiotics are basically just food for bacteria in our gut. It's the whole ecosystem in there, and we just want to make sure we're feeding them. The bacteria love to eat fiber, especially soluble fiber. So if you're thinking about where you might find soluble fiber, the first two places that for some reason always seem to come to my mind are apples and pears. But that kind of gives you an idea of like what soluble fiber feels like, right? You know what it feels like to bite into those things. That's the soluble fiber feeling. Not insoluble fiber, I always think of as like, well, like celery is a pretty good example. They're stringy, but like a lot of the vegetables have more insoluble fiber in them. You know, broccoli, those sorts of things. But the fiber in general, just increasing the fiber, your gut bacteria are going to love that, and they're going to be able to just grow more and do their job even more. Your microbiome will naturally have a tendency to increase in a healthy diversity if you're sort of supplying it with the basic needs that it has. So increase your fiber, 7 to 10 servings of plants a day, of vegetables a day. Eat a cup of beans a day, lots of fiber in beans. Almonds, lots of fiber in almonds. Okay, just like up the amount of plants that you're putting in your body every day, and you'll be upping the fiber. Okay, so that's a really big deal. The second is probiotics. So I don't think it's harmful to take a probiotic at least from time to time. I mean, ideally, we're feeding what's already there, and that's enough. But if for some reason we have a low diversity, it's helpful sometimes to populate it with a probiotic supplement, and then also just make sure we're feeding them by eating enough fiber. But I'm kind of a fan of this, like if you pull food out of the garden and like wash the main dirt off a little bit, but don't like scrub it. Like you're getting a lot of bacteria in that way, and I think that there's something interesting to be said about soil-based organisms, and that we evolved with our gut being exposed to the organisms in the soil. So I think that's kind of an interesting way to get some bacteria in that would maybe be a little less common than what you would find in a normal probiotic, which is a food-based organisms like lactobacillus, for example. So the probiotics, we can put them straight in. The third P, parasympathetic. This is really important. This is the rest and digest part of the nervous system. We got to start taking time for ourselves to relax and to cut out some of the noise in the external world. That's lights, that's physical noise, that's the noise of the mind and having to like being focused on work or worrying about the news and what's going on right now. We have to take time for ourselves and to slow down, to get in touch with ourselves, to get out of our heads and get into our bodies, and also to be creative. The parasympathetic nervous system facilitates a healthy gut, okay? The fight or flight nervous system shunts blood away from the gut, and it stops the digestive processes and actually negatively impacts the flora in the gut. So those are three simple things that I think that you can start to do today, or just like keep in mind if you're wanting to know how you can start to increase your gut health a little bit to improve your immune system and overall health. All right, take care.